And then during the verse, the only part that we recorded for the verse in terms of just like on top of the main layer of the vocals was an Ad-Lib track. And I kind of have a go-to chain for Ad-Libs. I like a little bit of sort of the telephone style voice, and I have a couple different ways I do it. I actually use this plugin called the H-Delay, and I made my own telephone preset. The funny thing about this particular plugin, and I have to shout out my guy Michael Ashby, he's an engineer that I studied with and kind of taught me some stuff. I flew him out here a couple years ago. He recorded and mixed Cardi B's Bodak Yellow amongst a lot of other things, but that's probably his biggest work. But when he came down here, you know, we were talking about telephone and just like different effects and different things you can do to Ad-Libs. And he was like, yeah, I use the H-Delay. And I was like, well, what do you mean? How does that add telephone? Because I mean, I have the H-Delay, I've had it for a while. I never really mess with the filters, but you mess with the filters and, you know, like I said, you can get the telephone sound from any EQ and a lot of other plugins probably too, but you know, really all you're doing is just taking out the highs and lows. But for whatever reason, this one sounded different and cool, and Ashby was like, you know, he was like, hey, try it, you know, you might like it, and we were messing with it, and I was like, this is actually pretty cool and different, and you can add some analog. It's also got this saturation thing here. But yeah, I think it sounds pretty neat. I'll play it without the saturation. I also use a bit of delay, and I have, if you look, I have this bus that goes from my Ad-Lib bus to, I have it analog wired or patched to send to a delay I have in my rack. It's a TC Electronic. I mean, I guess technically it's a digital delay, but that also is an analog component. But yeah, I don't know. I got that TC Electronic delay. It's got tons of cool different presets. And it's just something, again, like I said in the beginning, I'm tactile. I like to click the buttons and press the buttons and faders, and I just like being able to, so it's not synced. So like every time I have a song that I want to use delay on, I have to like either tap it or enter in the milliseconds on there. But yeah, you can, but that's really all I do is I add, you know, for Ad-Libs, I add a little bit of telephone, or I add a couple different things to make it sound different, and I usually add some delay. So this is with nothing.
Oh no.
Okay.
Nothing.
Added a little reverb.
No. Nothing.
Let's add this telephone thing.
No. Okay. If they.
And you can hear it's a bit saturated.
If you.
And then now add the delay.
Okay. Huh. What?
It's got this kind of ping pong effect, and the nice thing with that delay is there's a lot of different parameters. It's got its own compressor in it, which sometimes I use a little bit of. It's got chorus in it, and it's got a lot of different functions, but this particular preset is called Dynamite Pink Punk. So I don't know, for whatever reason, it's a cool little preset. I mess with it sometimes, and then I just tap the delay. Sometimes I actually have to go look up, okay, if the song is in 120 BPM, what's the, you know, milliseconds of the quarter note, and then I look it up and we'll enter it. But sometimes I don't like it perfect. Like if it, you know, the number ends up being, let's say like 500 milliseconds, sometimes I'll do like 502 or 498 just to be slightly off time with the whole song, where it's not throwing you off, but it's just kind of giving you some, you know, wobble or whatever, just some variance. So that's how that sounds. And again, you know, pretty similar in terms of de-essing and compressing and all that stuff. I usually start with the same EQ, the same compression, and then kind of just build off of that, because this is a place where I'm happy with. Yeah, in this case, I didn't use a second EQ. Didn't feel like it was necessary. Because I've got the H delay, and I felt like the first EQ was enough. So